It depends on what you consider by risk management. Of course, everybody in the public sector, every manager, every unit, every department, in fact, are managing risks. But they may not consider this as risk management. They are doing their job, they are executing controls, and they are more or less in control of their process. But when we talk about risk management, we talk about a process, an integrated process. And this is what is often lacking in the public sector. But I also must say that if I compare it to the private sector, that some years ago, this was also totally absent in the private sector. Integrated enterprise or organization-wide risk management. It seems like an easy question, but the answer is not that obvious. Because in order to be successful, you need to have the proper culture in the organization, the proper culture with regard to how to approach risks and how to approach controls. And very often what I have seen is that suddenly, for whatever reason, being at the requirement of the European Commission or being a requirement from the World Bank or from other donors, you must have risk management in place. And then very often what management does is to reduce the entire exercise to a kind of administrative compliance, and that's not what is needed. So first of all, we need in fact the top of the organization to brainstorm about what we need to have in place and what we really want to do about it. Yeah, the risk culture in the organization is the way that people spontaneously look at risks. You can look at a risk at the end of the process. We may say, okay, but we need to do something about risk management. Or we can look at risk by integrating it into every step that we take, starting with the development of the strategy of the organization. And that will require a bit of time because you cannot change the culture of the organization from one day to another. I can compare it when I experienced the implementation of the quality movements in organizations. Then people thought that it was enough at the end of the process to say, now I'm going to check the quality. No, the quality is not something that you check at the end of the process. It should be integrated into the entire process. And that's exactly the same about managing risks, and that's what a proper risk and control culture is of an organization. Now, for me, risk management is always and has always been an integral part of internal control, public internal control. What does it mean, internal control? Internal control means that I feel and I am in control of the operations of the process that I'm responsible for. I can only be in control of an operation or of a process if I know what the risks are and when I have the tools in place to effectively manage these risks. Now, why did so many countries focus first on internal audit? Because I believe that that was the easiest way. Because it's easy, in fact, to implement something totally new. And internal audit was new for most of our countries. But risk management had to be integrated in something that already existed. And what already existed was the risk and control culture of the organization. And if that risk and control culture was not good enough, we had to change that. And that's the most difficult part of it. But we should have, and we still need to pay much more attention to that. Because it is not enough to have an excellent internal audit function if your risk culture and your control culture is not prepared for that.